Amnesty International is alleging widespread abuse of protesters, demanding the return of Honduran President Manuel Zelaya, who was ousted in a coup, saying in a report that hundreds of people have been beaten and detained under the interim government. The report coincides with a visit from an Organization of American States panel to investigate allegations of abuse and intimidation against protesters and the media. The OAS later plans to send a delegation of 6 foreign ministers in a bid to revive stalled negotiations to reinstate Zelaya. The coup government of Roberto Micheletti has increasingly cracked down on pro-Zelaya protests. Last week, prosecutors filed sedition and other charges against more than 24 Zelaya supporters after violent protests in the capital of Tegucigalpa. Protesters kicked and punched the Vice President of Congress one day and allegedly burned a bus and a restaurant another day. At least 2 people have been shot to death during protests. Amnesty says many of the people interviewed were detained at a march on July 30th that turned violent when police purportedly charged without warning, quote, causing panic and chaotic scenes as people tried to flee. Military personnel, deployed behind rows of charging police, allegedly shouted support for the beatings of demonstrators, Amnesty said. So far, the Obama administration has been silent about the coup government's violence and censorship. At the same time, lawyers and lobbyists with close ties to the family of U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have been hired by a coalition of Latin American business interests to represent the Micheletti dictatorship.